Hi, my love. Welcome back to the Female Thrive podcast. In today's episode, we will talk about how you need to stop. You need to stop thinking that you need to earn the love from someone, from anyone. Now, let me tell you a story about Sophia. Sophia is the kind of woman that everyone leans on. And it doesn't matter if it's about her friends, her family, as well as her partner. Everyone just thinks of her as the nice girl. She's the one who never forgets birthdays. She sent out reminders. She set up dates. Whenever her partner is forgetting her birthday, she brushes off. She's just telling herself, oh, you know what? He's just not good with birthdays. That's fine. Now, when he pulls away, she's giving him space, regardless of how she's feeling. And she's thinking, oh, I need to get him back. Now, what she does is that she's cooking him his favorite meal. She's sending him sweet messages. She's making herself small just so he will tolerate her. And to remind him that she is still there. And throughout the relationship, she's telling herself, you know what, I'm not needy. I am just a loving person. I'm trying to give love. And behind all of this, there's just a woman thinking to herself, if I'm only good enough, if I'm only kind enough, easy enough, if I'm only patient, if I'm only attractive and looking good enough, then he might just want to choose me fully. Then he will not walk away. The thing is that she was not loving him, but she was just trying to prove herself that she was worth loving. Maybe you can relate with yourself, because if you are anxious as she is, then you might stay despite when you feel hurting. Because for you, leaving feels like failure. Or maybe you are trying even harder instead of thinking if it's even worth trying. And you might find yourself in a situation where you are emotionally overfunctioning, doing all the work for two people, and this is what you call love, and this is what you associate with love. Now, this is what I want you to understand, okay? Listen, come closer and listen to me. You are not required to suffer just in order to be chosen, okay? You are not required to suffer just in order to be chosen. Because what we here clearly see is that you put love against abandoning yourself. Because what you do is that you're abandoning yourself. And you need to understand that when you choose for love, it also means that you make space for your needs. Now, if you want to tell him how you feel, you tell him how you feel. If he has hurt you, if he has dismissed you, and you don't feel safe to say that, then you do not make the space for your needs as well. Now, what he wants to do with this information, it's up to him. But if you feel you're abandoning yourself in order to be chosen, then baby girl, I'm telling you, you are on the wrong track, because this is not where you are supposed to belong. This is not what has to be in order for you to be chosen, in order for you to stay in this relationship, to suffer, to make yourself small, okay? Because as I told you, all of this will lead you to pushing yourself away. You will abandoning yourself. You will silence yourself. You won't find a voice. You will feel you are constantly dismissed. You will feel you are invisible in this relationship. Now, let's see even further. What does it mean if you think you need to earn the love? Maybe you have seen yourself in the situation that you need to wait for hours, for days, just in order to get a reply from him. And if you are not patient enough, you are blaming yourself that you are too much, that you are too pushy, that you are too demanding. See, this is where we are assigning ourselves with such negative connotations just because we think we need to deserve it. Or maybe you are one who is trying to be the cool girl who is not ever asking for anything. Because I have found myself in this situation where I'm like, No, I'm not gonna ask because I'm going to be all, strong and independent. I'm the cool girl and I'm not gonna ask for anything. It starts with small gestures, just like opening the door or carrying a big bag for you. Now, if you are thinking you are portraying yourself in a way that just in order for you to be loved, this is wrong. Men like to provide the acts of service, especially when they love you, especially when you are important to them. Because look at your father, or even if you have a brother. If you ask them anything, they would do it for you. You need to compare it if you have a good relationship within your family. Or maybe you are overgiving and then you are under receiving. And whatever he does, you're just telling yourself, you know what, at least he's not leaving me. If he has been abusive to you, if he has been, because this is a very radical, let's say, example, and you're telling yourself, at least he's not leaving me. This is the point where you really lose your femininity. Because by accepting not just the bare minimum, but what has caused you harm, and where you don't feel you being heard, there is no space for your vulnerability. Now, if you cannot be vulnerable in front of your partner, if your partner is not protecting you, because the male energy, the masculine energy is the part that is being protective. And that makes totally sense, because recently I heard about the study of whenever parents are sleeping during the night and the baby is starting to cry, what happens is the father often doesn't hear it. It's the mother who hears. Why? Because we are the one who are nurturing the baby, who is giving care to the infant, because they need it, because they're vulnerable, and because they need their mother's care, because they need the warmth of the mother's body. Now, what happens if during the night you hear outside someone step, or you hear the wind blowing, or you hear, sudden movements? Now, the person who wakes up here is not the mother, but the father. Why? Because biologically seen, the father is the one who is protecting the family. And therefore, he's programmed to hear, to listen to noises that are far further away. And therefore, you need to feel safe. You need to feel safe in your environment. You need to feel safe with the person you're going to have children with. Even if you just consider him as your long-term life partner, you need to feel safe with this person. How does safety feel? Safety feels whenever your nervous system can breathe, whenever you feel calm in their presence, whenever you feel that your mind and your thoughts are not chaotic, and that everything happens naturally. Maybe you have had experienced that before. Whenever you're with a close friend, whenever you're with a family member, be it with your mom or maybe your sibling, and you feel their presence is just calming you because you can just be yourself. And this is what you should look out for. Safety also means that whenever you're texting this person, you're not over-strategizing your messaging. Of course, you should be thoughtful, especially when it comes to heavy topics of what you want to tell them. But when you have to rehearse over and over again to the point it makes you anxious, that's not how it should be. And lastly, safe love also means that you feel chosen without to chase constantly. You feel you are good enough without having to make yourself small, to run after someone, to be the one who is overly aware of everything. Because you need to remember yourself, remind yourself that love, safe love, comes from both sides. It's not only your work that you are doing, it's also from his part. So always remember, darling, that safety doesn't mean boring, not at all. It means when something is reciprocated. It means when you are giving and receiving. It means that you feel regulated. It means consistency. It means that you feel rooted in the presence of this person. Listen, you don't have to convince anyone of your worth. I understand you want to develop with them once you get together. Never stop developing, but you don't need to convince anyone of your worth. Now, the more you soften, the more you feel you can trust, the more you remember you are sacred, that your self-worth is important, the more you will attract love that will meet you without having to beg for it. And always ask yourself, are you loving or are you proving? Are you giving from a place of overflow because you love yourself so much that there is abundance of love? Or are you giving because you are fearing? Ask yourself this. And if you catch yourself in a Sophia moment, then pause, take a break, take a breath and tell yourself, I don't earn love, I receive love. I give and I receive, okay? Always remind yourself, you are worthy. You don't need someone else to make you completely and whole. And you never ever have to fight to be seen, because the right person will see you. Until next time.